So today I'm going to take you along on the journey of how I photographed my first owl in the wild. To say owls are elusive is an understatement. The only two places I've ever seen an owl before are 1, the zoo, and 2, Hogwarts. Depending on what you believe, that might bring my list back to 1. So when I heard these rumors that an owl had recently been spotted at Grassi Lakes in Canmore, I knew we had to go check it out. When we first showed up, 2 climbers who were just packing up their gear noticed my camera. When I said we heard there was an owl in the area, they knew exactly what we were talking about. They pulled out their climbing book with a route titled The Owl's Perch. They were very helpful in explaining exactly where to look, and we snapped a picture of their map to help guide us. One climber joked that with the size of my lens, I could probably spot the owl on top of Howling Peak. And it turns out, it wasn't too far off. As we made our way down towards Grassi Lakes, it kind of felt like winter. The wind was howling and there were mounds of snow covering parts of the trail. Although it was cold, it was such a beautiful evening I was quickly forgetting that we were in search of the owl, and became more focused on the beauty of the trail. Once we arrived at the lake, we realized we had it all to ourselves, which is quite rare at Grassi Lakes being such a popular location. On our first visit to the Owl's Cave, there was no one home. Although we didn't find the owl this time, this was easily one of my most memorable visits to the lake. The evening sun was casting a golden light across the entire Bow Valley, and I ended up getting a couple of my favorite photos of the year in just the span of 20 minutes. And there may not have been a majestic owl awaiting us this time, but there was no shortage of small rodents and birds to practice photographing. We decided to try our luck again 1 week later, this time coming up in the mid-afternoon on a gloomy day in the Bow Valley. Once again, we were accompanied by several rodents and birds. And of course, you can't come up here without getting a shot of the famous Howling Peak. This time we climbed up a little higher to get a new angle on the Owl's Cave. Again, we didn't see anyone home, but this time we found some signs of owl activity.
Yeah, these are all the bones we found yesterday. We've got like humeruses, this is a vertebrae, like evidence of owls.
Now this is where things get interesting. A few hours later, when reviewing the photos at home, I noticed something which stood out in one of the photos which I had intentionally overexposed to brighten up the back of the cave. This entire time, a great horned owl was sleeping in the back of the cave. Our next plan of action was to get up early and try and catch the owl while it was still active. Just as we were about to give up, 2 ravens flew across the lake, startling the owl out of the nearby tree and it flew down and landed in the cave. We took a few photos up high before heading down to get a closer look. It was at this moment when I captured the best photo of our entire adventure. Now this isn't where the story ends. Once again, some overexposed photos revealed some more secrets in the back of the cave. It turns out there was an entire family of owls living in the cave, with the male up front, the mom in the middle, and 2 newborn owlets wrapped up in the back. We decided to return 2 weeks later to check on how our owl friends were doing. It turns out they grew up pretty fast. To wrap up our journey, my girlfriend's mom, who happens to be a very talented local artist, painted this image to summarize our adventures with the owls at Grassi Lakes.